talk about Utah at home. Rice Eccles at home. That's a big deal versus Oregon. Two teams, well, trending up. I think. I know Oregon lost to Washington, but like, it was on the road. They had a chance to win that game. They were 3 yards away from winning that game. I mean, come on, and a missed field goal. So like, and a coaching blunder at the end of the first half. So any one of those things happen, and Oregon wins that football game. I believe so. Talk about just a balanced Oregon team. I mean, there is a reason that this line is at 6.5, even on the road for Oregon. Like, this is a really good football team. And while we've seen Utah's offense prove a lot more efficient with Bryson Barnes at the helm the last two games, Cal and Southern California are not very good defenses. And this Utah team is just decimated with injuries. All over the place. And we talked about it. Kyle Whittingham, up to this point, is your Pac-12 Coach of the Year. That could change the next couple of weeks. Sure, but we're telling you that today, if there were votes today, there's zero reason why he should not get every single vote. Zero reason. So I want to hear what you think about this game. It's interesting that it's at 6.5. There's there's not even a 7 out there. They're all at 6.5.
And I don't think that line's going to be moving.
Is that because the books don't want it to move to 7 because they know that the Sharps are going to be all over Utah there, or what?
I do think, like, in college football, like, lines are relative, right? For each team, like in Iowa, point spread that's 2.5 or 3.5 is massive compared to, like, if it was 3.5 for Colorado or USC, right? But Utah is one of the same teams where, like, being under a touchdown is important for these books here. I think that's the reason why it's not moving. It's so hard not to take Utah here. I mean,
there's a right pick, I think.
I have to go with Oregon to win and Oregon to cover. I think they're really, really good. I've been really impressed with them. But we said last week, and we talked about USC and Utah. Neither of us felt good about that game. We both took USC, I believe. And my rule was, like, usually I just don't pick against Kyle Whittingham, and more times than not, like, he's gonna make you burn, especially when people don't think he can do it. But I think Oregon's a wagon. I think Oregon is significantly better than USC. I do think, yes, Utah at home is so dangerous, but the injuries at some point they're going to catch up to you. And I think this Oregon roster is fantastic. Bo Nix continues to impress me every time he plays. Just uber veteran player that just makes plays. Their O-line's playing pretty fantastic. I was very impressed with how they played against Washington State.
And I'll say this real quick about their offensive line. I mentioned a couple weeks ago that they're kind of two offensive lines that are, like, kind of elite that we've seen this year, and that's Oregon State and blank, whatever. But then right in that next tier, like, almost in that elite category, has been Oregon this year. They're on the offensive line. And we did not, like, there were so many question marks going in the year, and they were playing fantastic. But continue.
Yeah, I think that O-line gives them the advantage here because
Michigan was the other one. Sorry.
Thank you. Washington State has two really good edge rushers. Their defense is very opportunistic at times, especially, and Oregon moved the ball very, very well against them. And defensively, they shut down, especially in that second half, a Cam Ward guy who, when we see him on his highs, he is unstoppable. And in the first half, he made some plays, whatever. But in that second half, he did his best, and Oregon really buckled down. I do think the difference in this game here is Bucky Irving, man. He is incredible. I mean, I'm a little biased because I love Bucky Irving, but he's awesome every time he touches the ball. I mean, he has 87 carries. He's averaging 7.5 yards per carry. I get it. Some of it's inflated, but we're in the middle of conference play now. Like, that is impressive. Obviously, Bo Nix and Troy Franklin are incredible duo. But yeah, I'm going to give the edge to Oregon here because of that defense, I think, is improved and playing really well. And then also, I think Bucky Irving and that O-line is going to make a difference and be able to dent that Utah defense.
Yeah, I think the right pick is Oregon and to cover, but I'm going to pick Utah to cover, and I'm going to pick them to win. Only for the sole reason that they're at home. And guess what? Dude, I know that that's not the right pick. I know it's not. But I'm not going to sit here and get burned again when I fade Utah when they're at home. I'm not going to do it. Now, granted, do I think Oregon's offensive line is a good matchup for Utah's defensive line? Sure. But so is Oregon State's. And yes, Oregon State won. They scored 21 points. They had one explosive play in the game. I mean, other than that, now granted, Oregon has a much more diverse passing game, but I don't think Damian Martinez is that much worse than Bucky Irving. In fact, I think in a lot of ways he's better.
Wow.
Which is a crazy thing to say. But I don't know, dude. I have this feeling that Kyle Whittingham is just gonna find a way to make this game close, and this is just solely a field pick, man. Like, there's no reason. There's zero reason that I think. Like, it is so hard to pick Utah here. It's so hard to pick Utah here, but I have to, and they're at home. They're at home. When was the last time they lost at home? COVID? I think it was COVID.
In which I don't think the Pac-12 had fans, if any.
Yeah, so I don't even I don't know what the stat is, but they have dominated at home. I think Bo Nix is a really good quarterback, and guess what he's done? He's taking care of the football, which Utah is taking advantage of. That's how they've been able to win these games. So I do think if Bo Nix takes care of the football and they're able to run the ball effectively, I think Oregon wins this game for sure. But I can't.
Yeah,
I can't do it. I can't pick against Kyle Whittingham at home, and I know I've done it this year, and I've been burned. But
yeah, I don't hate the pick, even though I'm pretty surprised by it. But it's also like sometimes college football is irrational. Like sometimes like Utah winning football games does not make sense, but like they do. They have for 3 years now, and you have to give them credit for that. I do think like Bryson Barnes, yes, they moved the ball against USC and California. Obviously, I think it's a different beast. It's nice to come at home. It's nice for Bryson Barnes after the bye week. And then Cal, and then like he's getting more reps. It's firmly his job. Cam Rising is officially out for the year, and they have confidence in him. But also like outside of like the running backs, like they had like 70 yards passing against USC, like to wide receivers and tight ends, and like
I
that's
understand.
Where, like I think if they were healthy, their tight ends. I don't care. Like Cam Rising, elite player, obviously. I think he changes his offense into a legit Pac-12 and playoff contender team, but without the tight ends, without the defensive injuries, I think it's going to catch up to them. To be honest, selfishly, I would love to be proved wrong. I think Utah winning at home would be incredible. The problem is I think the Pac-12 needs Oregon to continue to win, and Washington to continue to win, and kind of meet on a collision course back again for rematch number 2. If their best chance is making the playoffs. But yeah, this is going to be an incredible game. 2:30 on, I believe it's on Fox. It's going to be fantastic up there in Salt Lake City.
I agree. And again, you're right. We're going to come back here. We're going to look at this on Sunday, and we're going to talk about why it was the right pick to pick Oregon and why they won by 2 touchdowns. That's just what's going to happen. But
you also have to understand, like for our viewers here, like it is never the wrong pick to pick Utah. It is never a bad idea to take Utah, to ride with Utah, because more times than not, you're going to be a very, very successful man.
I agree. Kyle Whittingham, dog.